You beat Carson Brown. That was really important.
Yeah.
Because
I hope I would beat a Moto guy at a hard enduro.
I turned a couple cats in to have their testicles removed. Does that make me a bad person?
Dude, I'm a dirt bike rider who's cheap and I have Ryobi drills. Like, suck it. Guess what? You can't ride a dirt bike as good as me.
You'll really appreciate this is wide foot pegs. You want to get like not
Oh,
wide.
The wider the better, and lower too.
Did you knock yourself silly?
Nope.
So
anything that you could break, we did.
I was toted like 45 minutes and then he fell off for 10 minutes. It's pretty good for my brain.
Okay, I think I made the show start. And Logan's not here.
No, Logan.
I got Logan's dad here instead. One and done, huh? Just one a year maybe for Logan?
He came out and rode pit bikes with you and he hasn't got off the couch since. He's sick.
Uh-oh.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Welcome everybody to Tech Talk Taco Tuesday, where we drink whiskey sometimes.
Yeah.
Yeah, the tequila, whiskey. We had tacos tonight though.
We did eat tacos.
Thank you. We got a pretty cool special guest tonight. I'm gonna go really straight right to him because he's waiting right now. But with me tonight, Jimmy Tyler.
Hi.
And
Gary Smith
from Sportsman Cycles. We're gonna talk betas later on, but this guy used to be a beta rider. But now he's a Yamaha Blue Crew rider. Very important because this show would not be possible without the help of our amazing sponsors, Yamaha, the main one. So with that, I'm going to bring into the program. Hopefully everything works. I got to push 1 or 7 more buttons. I can't unmute someone else. Okay, Cody, you're going to have to unmute yourself if you can do that button. And then,
all right, test. Can we hear me?
I can hear you.
All right, we're in.
We're in. Cody Webb, welcome to the show. So
yeah, stoked to be on here.
Thanks for joining us. This is again, I'll just tell because I don't know why you would ever watch or listen to a podcast like this. Tech Talk Taco Tuesday. We answer your motorcycle and motorcycle product related questions. I'm reaching out to you for multiple reasons. Not mostly because it's a Yamaha thing, but I have some Yamaha questions because I've been watching what you've been doing lately. You've been to Erzberg. You beat Carson Brown. That was really important.
Yeah. I hope I would beat a Moto guy at a hard enduro.
Yeah. Well, and Carson's keep claiming he's going to come out and train with me because I can tell him I have 100% finishing record at Erzberg. Don't like to talk about myself much, but 100% finishing record there. And I told Carson,
that's better than me.
That's
better than me.
Not really. I literally one time I could have made top 10. I was kind of shooting for top 10 and some South African guy tumbled off some rocks and fell and broke my front brake lever off. And that was problematic because I was on a gas. So back when they were not,
they were Nissan.
Yeah. So I had to steal part off a Yamaha that I found in the forest.
Yeah.
So yeah. And trust me, back then there was a little bit of assistance from outside assistance, help and stuff. If you were on an orange bike, like people would dive to lay down in the gullies you could use them for traction. There would be 20 people with a rope and a hook and they would hook you. And if you were on a gas, you got none of that. No, they come and they look, oh no, that's red. And they just like stand back and hold their hands up.
Yeah. So, oh no, sorry. Figure it out.
So anyways, thanks for joining the show. I'll get right into it. So I have a WR250 that I would like it to be more than a WR250. And I saw you raced one at the Silver Kings. And yours was more than a WR250, yeah?
Yeah, well, it was, I don't know what it was. It was actually an FX. So I had the 250 FX and I just slapped on the WR fan on that thing. So it plugs right into the wiring harness.
Right.
So I had a strange hybrid, but it wasn't a 250 also. I had the Athena big bore kit with a Get ECU on it. So it was a little bit more. It doesn't make it faster. It just makes it a little bit torquier and for sure easier to ride off-road, in my opinion.
Yeah, because I don't think I'm really looking for too much looking for faster. It's mostly I'm just looking for more kind of just low end kind of roll on grunt, so you don't have to kind of get up there. I mean, for a 250 and the WR, by the way, the WR and the FX are like literally the same,
nearly identical, right? They're pretty
engine.
much.
When you get the competition ECU on the
Yeah.
the WR, then it works just like an FX. So it's in the kit. Did you send the cylinder away and have it done that way, or is it a whole cylinder? Or
It was the whole Athena kit. So I do have some support from Athena and Get this year. So for Endurocross, I kind of wanted to get a head start a little bit. So it was just the 293 kit from Athena, just the cylinder, piston, and I don't know, 4 strokes, but somehow you can still use the same head and cams and valves and everything. And I did it myself, and I've only torn apart one 4-stroke engine my whole life. So, well, I also checked the valves once on my lawnmower, but it wasn't that hard if I did it.
Right. And did you have to do much tuning with are you running a different ECU, or are you running the stock ECU?
Yeah, so I had a Get ECU as well, which was pretty handy. Like, I'm just running the pre-programmed maps. So like when we did the street race, I ran the lean map, which makes it a little more aggressive. You get a little more air, I guess. It's a little more snappy. And then I was worried about heat and overheating, obviously, for the main race. So I put it on the quote unquote soft map, which is just a pre-downloaded map. I think Get has like 6 or 7 maps for that bike. And with a soft map, in theory, it just gives it more fuel, which would keep the engine running a little bit cooler, So that's why I went that route. But my dumbass, I didn't realize there's a traction control setting on the Get ECU. It's like a level from 1 to 10. And I turned traction control off, but then when I put the pre-programmed map in for like soft mode or slippery mode, whatever it was, it turned traction control back on and I never checked it. So I actually raced with traction control on all of Silver Kings, and I noticed it on Friday before Donner. I was warming that bike to change oil on it and do some work on it, and I realized that maybe that's why I struggled on some of the long uphills, because I was wide open and the bike was like, oh, we need to tune it down, he's spinning.
Right. I absolutely hate traction control. I mean, because
I thought I was just down on power because it's 6,000 feet and I'm on a smaller bore engine, but there was that to an extent. But I think I had traction control on, which kind of screwed me. But you live and learn.
Right. So as a trials guy, for sure, you guys know traction, and I'm not a trials guy. If you could put your feet on the ground, I'd be okay at trials. But you guys are all about traction, and I think a lot of people just think, oh, traction control is going to save me, and I don't know. It's confusing because I feel it working, and I'm like, no, you idiot! And I'm talking to my bike being an idiot. I turned the throttle that far for a reason. I wanted it to do something, and now we get in fights, just like ABS.
Yeah, you're fighting. Yeah. Oh, ABS. I did my first ever adventure ride last week, and I started the Tenere just for a second, and I'm like, oh, I don't need traction control, and we're just gonna go right here. And I almost died in the first minute of ABS is terrible off-road. It shouldn't be on the bike. But
agreed.
I did see a comment on here. Someone said how my 250 sounded different on the second day of Silver Kings.
Right.
And it's pretty wild they noticed that, because I cut the wire mesh out of the airbox to try and get some more air to it. So, I mean, that would probably make it sound a little bit more throaty, because obviously more air is getting in there and it should run better. Yeah,
that was C. Bentley asked that question.
This he's on to something.
It's amazing how in tune some of our viewers and stuff are with things. They're it's in my shop. They'll ask about something that's hanging up on the wall. We'll do shows out of the shop or different things we pop up on the screen here, and they'll say, oh, and it's like, oh wow, you noticed that? But and then there's some people that ask some of the questions we get. It's like, you gotta be kidding me.
Yeah, my favorite was one of my GoPro videos from, I don't know, within the last 2 months, and he was critiquing me on my shock setup, telling me my shock setup was bad from a POV footage. I'm like, wow, it's like, I should probably take some more hints from you if you're that good at understanding how a bike handling from a helmet cam.
I've got that before too. I mean, we're posting videos and they're like, oh yeah, I can tell your sag's a little bit low, and it's like that. And I'm like, yeah, I'm fat. Okay, just say it.
Yeah.
So So just a little bit about, for those that don't know a little bit about your history, you started as a trials. How many trials titles did you win?
I only have like one official national trials championship, and then I've won 2 indoor ones, but they really weren't that cool. Then I won some like junior style stuff and expert as I was coming up to the ranks. So kind of officially one big one, I would say.
Because I definitely remember, when you were coming up, it was like kind of right after Jeff Aaron had sort of made the transition into the really, it was Endurocross at the time was where all you guys came over. And then, because I don't think had the hard enduro really started here in the States yet.
Yeah, I mean, we had Last Man Standing.
Oh yeah.
And
I should remember that.
I never raced that one. You probably raced that one, right?
Yeah.
So I didn't. That was kind of like right before that was like my instigation basically to get a dirt bike. I was like, wow, all these trials guys are doing this. I should try this.
Yeah, and trials guys at the time had a huge advantage because they knew traction. so
yeah, exactly.
Yeah, they so moto guys are just all spinning and using momentum, and the trials guys could stop and get going again. And I'd been over to Europe and seen raced a couple of them, and I'd watched the differences, and there was definitely some specialists. But so back to you, when I remember watching you guys when you started, it's like, man, you knew how to ride this stuff, but you didn't really race.
Yeah, we just I had my handlebars rolled forward like a trials rider would, and then would just like putt around from section to section and then get through the hard stuff and then putt to the next section. I did that in Endurocross too. Like Taddy was kind of the only trials guy who actually was like really aggressive right from the get-go.
Yeah. And so that was on a beta. You started on betas, right?
Yeah, I had a KTM I bought in the very beginning. It was just like a demo bike from the year from a local dealer. So he gave me like a really good discount just because I was in the local club, and I had a discounted bike for 2 years, and then I had a gas deal for 1 year when Clay Stuckey had it. But it was a very it wasn't even a deal. It was like, here's a used beat up magazine bike you can use for the year in Endurocross. So I actually podiumed the final round of Endurocross in 2010 on like a already beat up magazine bike by the time I was racing it.
Yeah. And then you got the deal.
Then I switched to beta. Yeah. Then I got the deal with beta.
Okay. So you were doing it before you were a beta guy.
Yeah, very briefly. I never did the whole series. I was just doing like the last 2 events of the year. I would always do Vegas. And the very first year I did Vegas I was on a trials bike. There's a couple other guys who only did it on a trials bike, and then they banned the trials bikes.
Right.
So, and then my second year I think I raced like amateur and expert on the KTM. And then I rode the trials bike class 2 when they had that. So I did like 3 classes in one day, and it was like literally on and off the bike nonstop because the way the practices and motos were staged. Right. It was like I would get off from like the amateur race, and then my dad would have my trials bike ready to hop on and do the trials cross final.
So then you went to factory KTM
after beta. Yeah,
after beta.
Well, I had 1 year of like a satellite on the RPM KTM team.
Okay.
So I rode for them for a year, and then kind of was just like a natural progression step to ride for factory KTM.
Yep. A few championships there.
Yeah, I definitely was pretty successful there.
But you won one on the beta, correct?
Yeah, I won my first championship on a beta, and then I won my second Endurocross championship on like the satellite team. And then 2017, I won my third Endurocross championship.
Right.
And then I kind of have had injuries here and there since. And then on Sherco, the bike was really good at hard enduro, but just wasn't quite really a true Endurocross bike. So I had some success, but I felt like it was a little bit trickier to have a whole solid season on that bike and program.
And you left KTM right when they went from carbureted to fuel injection, correct?
Yeah, I was the beginning of the TBI phase. I rode a 250 in 2018, and I think they quickly got me a 300, but I absolutely like despised that bike. It was pretty not good, but it also was not that terrible because we also came off the Mikuni bike the year before, and I think that bike almost was. It was more predictable, but like it would only run right in certain, like you always had to like tune it. It like never ran good.
The Mikuni.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you preferred the Mikuni over the fuel injection, in early fuel injection.
I mean, I left when I rode the 2020 briefly before I got injured and blew my knee out, and that was pretty good. But my favorite KTM that I had ridden, I've ridden the new ones. They're obviously pretty good, but I rode my 2016 KTM was still like my favorite one. I just like that
Key carburetor.
Yeah.
Yeah. And they wouldn't let you go back to the, I mean, I know that once they went to fuel injection, there's no going back, but they wouldn't let you run the Key when the bikes came equipped with the Mikunis.
Yeah, no, it was like you had to, we ran that. Like obviously we had like the factory suspension and stuff with the cone valve and tracks, but like we had to kind of basically run what stock came with us. So we were on Mikuni for the year. Yeah.
I kind of know how that stuff works, but because the first time I hopped on the TBI bike, the TPI bike,
TPI, yeah,
I was like, this is gonna. We actually did the intro at Erzberg they took us to the mountain and stuff like that, and I was able to ride up stuff that I struggled with before. And because they let some of the guys they knew were really good riders, we went and did some of the sections, and I was just blown away by just how, and it I guess for most people, like we talked about, traction control and stuff, for most people, we kind of, we talk about, throttle response and how all that feels, but like that bike had so much torque, but it didn't feel like it. It would just bog down into the kind of the bottom of the rev range.
It didn't really have the bottom. Like it would pull through stuff, but it was like a little sluggish right off the bat compared to what the carbureted ones were.
Yeah. And then so at that
point, then one of my practice bikes had a mind of its own. I could rev it quick, rev it, and there wasn't like a load on the engine. It would like get stuck at like half throttle and my hand was off the gas. And like, I don't know if the TPS was messed up, and I would be like, dude, this bike is an absolute death trap. And I gave it back to him and they're like, oh no, the computer reads it's this. And I could almost like do it on demand. Like I figured out how to make the throttle get stuck. It was kind of sketchy.
I thought first year. I thought you were going to tell me it ran backwards.
No, I have done that though.
I could get them to run backwards. I could be going up a hill and I could let it
on the TPI.
Yeah, on the TPI, I could get it really slow, kind of tap the brake and get it to kind of just go backwards. Yeah. And I bump started my Sherco backwards in like 2020, and then in Pennsylvania at the second round of like one of those races this year on the Yamaha, I bump started my bike backwards as well too. It really catches you off guard. Yeah. Well, they don't rev up very good, but
they don't take off very fast. But the timing works just enough that it'll run backwards, and it scares the hell out of you.
Yeah, KTM told me it was impossible. So because I did it at the intro, and they said, "Oh, this is impossible. It can't happen." And I got it started for them, and I said, "Hey, watch this." I did backwards burnouts, and then it would promptly kind of stall because they did have something in there where it would realize it was running backwards.
Yeah, and I think the timing is just like barely. It's like running enough that it'll run, but it's not running efficiently.
Yeah,
is my thought.
Right. So next you were off to Sherco.
Yep. And
that was how about 3 years on the Sherco?
That was a while actually. It was 2020, end of 2019. So 20, 21, 22, 23, 5 years altogether. So 20 through 24 through 24.
Yeah. And that was that's where you started. You were kind of at this time. This is where we were just talking earlier, a little bit of injuries.
Yeah, so I had some injuries here and there throughout the years, like a broken foot but then I actually started at Sherco coming off an ACL surgery that I did when I was on the KTM. So I definitely wasn't like 100% when I came in, but then somehow I got really lucky and won the first race of the year, like 7 months out of ACL surgery, which I thought was crazy at the time. But then Jet Lawrence won like an outdoor 3 months or something stupid after having his ACL done. So, and then kind of had like some really hot, like highs and lows there at Sherco with results. Won quite a bit of races. I never actually won the US Hard Enduro like official AMA championship or whatever it is when they had that, but I won like some of the regional ones. And then I had a really strange wrist injury, and like they couldn't figure it out. I was going to race Endurocross, and like I basically spent 2 or 3 weeks trying to figure out what, like I knew something was wrong, but they couldn't find anything in my wrist. And then finally I got an MRI on a CT scan, and I like damaged some little bone called the lunate next to your scaphoid. Cause I thought I broke my scaphoid because I had all the symptoms of a scaphoid injury. But so I took some time off there with a cast. And then I think 8 months later, I racing super enduro in Europe, I just mistimed a little double, and the front end just wedged perfectly. I didn't crash, but I think I never actually healed right because they never actually figured out what was wrong the first time correctly. And then I dislocated my wrist, and that was a pretty devastating. That was bad because I wrote it out, and I'm just like, but my, normally if you break your radius, they have like the little S curve in the wrist. I didn't have that, and like my mechanic was like, "Oh no, you're fine," and I'm like, "I hope I'm fine," but this really hurts, guys. Like,
yeah.
So
I have no more ligaments in my wrists. I've torn them all, and I've resisted the surgery for forever because they told me how much mobility I'd have when they go in and fix this stuff, and I'm like,
they told me the same thing. I still like. I'm pretty good now, but I'm on like the old man program where I'm taking glucosamine and trying to do everything I can to like help my joints and offset arthritis.
Oh, yeah.
Like my first well over a year coming back after an injury, like I would finish a race and it was like hard for me to even take my helmet off because my wrist was like so weak.
Yeah, we're going to talk about peptides later on in the show, right?
Yeah, peptides are good for you.
Okay, there's another because
they're just not FDA approved. It's like taking ivermectin.
I don't race anymore. I don't have to get no more water. None of them. No peeing in the cup. I just want to. Yeah. I want my knees to stay connected to my legs and my hands to stay connected to my wrists. So we're just we're going to get into that a little bit later. It's going to be a great show. We got all kinds of cool shit to talk about. Okay, so we're onto the Sherco, and then off the Sherco and onto the real blue crew, the Yamaha.
Yeah, so that was a pretty wild move. I think it was definitely exciting for the industry. It's been a lot of work for me, but like in terms of like my actual brand, I feel like it's like put me kind of back on the map and getting a ton of attention again. And when I was at Sherco, like core enduro riders and brands were all about like supporting me, but in the moto world, like I kind of was like non-existent there for a while because they're in their own world. And I went to Yamaha, and all of a sudden I had a lot more interest, I feel like, from more sponsors. And I signed not too long after they signed Caleb Russell as well. So everyone was like, there's a 350 coming. Oh, they must have the 300.
350 electric start, fuel injected.
Yeah, electric start, fuel injected 300.
Tenere Extreme Enduro version. So it's going to be you and Paul Torres. And like I say, I'm just going to tell you, I got started in that whole, like, you can ride an adventure bike pretty well. This thing, don't get suckered into that because those things will kill you. Like
I almost died last week already, like 6 times. So I'm kind of already off that.
No. You'll get it. Me and you and Damon Bradshaw are going to go riding. You don't know this yet, but he's fully into the Tenere. But you just take it slow, and all of your skills will transfer over to that thing. But don't let it fool you because actually it's the best for doing gnarlier stuff. It's the best bike, but you can't hide 400 pounds. It's just no. It's impossible.
It's more than 400 pounds. I guess after you trick it out, it's probably close to 400 pounds. But they're like 450 or something.
Yeah, look at Damon's bike. He's got one that's all set up. He's got some pretty stuff. So we got a couple questions for you here in the chat. Road Racer 3R says, we need an update on that Tenere 700 build, Cody.
Yeah, I did a fender rear, whatever, the rear license plate delete kit, and that's it. And then I made the mistakes of putting bags on. Don't ever do that. Just you.
Oh, no, you got to carry. This is the thing. You got to use it as an adventure bike. It's not.
I did 2 nights of camping and like never went back. We like stopped in a little town for lunch and like cooked our own food, and we did like a video shoot that'll be out in like August sometime.
Yeah.
And it was death defying with those bags. Like I was like riding exposure Idaho single track trails.
Oh, it's nice when they catch the side of the hill. And don't worry.
Don't worry. It doesn't pushes you left off a cliff almost.
The best mod you can do to this, and you'll really appreciate this, is wide foot pegs. You want to get like not wide.
The wider the better, and lower too.
No. Well, I don't know about you for your size. Probably not. But you go wider because you get more leverage on it. It's amazing how much it allows you to control the bike, but you've got to be really careful because those things hook on everything. But you're not supposed to be riding on that kind of crap. Like don't get suckered into this.
I bulldogged my Tenere off the side of a ridge because there was a down log on the trail that we were not going to make it over. It would have been hard on my dirt bike to get over this log. It was pretty big. So then I'm like, well, it's going to take me an hour to get up this trail and then a huge loop to get back where we were trying to get. So I turned the Tenere on a single track somehow back up the hill, and we walked it downhill. And I like got off my bike and was like bulldogging a 450-pound bike off this ridge.
I think you sent me a video of this, correct?
I sent you a video of me just spinning in the mud with stock tires too.
Oh yeah, that's okay. Dumb. That's a mistake too. You got to have good tires. So you can put like rally tires on it, and it's amazing how whatever. I got rims for it and everything. I got wheels from W. I did the 2.5 inch wide, so I can do like a standard bigger. Hey,
Enduro tire.
Road Racer 3, I did a vlog on how I modified my Tenere, and I'm sure Cody will do something just like that with all of his sponsors.
I'm going to watch Jimmy's. Once I decide what I'm doing, I'll watch your vlog on it.
Some of it's good information. Sparuni says, did you race while in college?
Yeah, I did. So I think I was still in college for a bit when I was on factory KTM as well. I was in college all throughout the beta years. And so it was difficult, but it teaches you time management.
And just for somebody who did do the same thing, I appreciate, because I know how much hard work that is. And I got a fake degree. I got like a communication arts degree. You are a mechanical engineer or electrical engineer?
Mechanical engineer.
That's right. Yeah. So, because I remember when I had heard that you'd gotten a degree in that, I'm like, oh man, that must have been gnarly.
It was pretty rough. But back then it was when I was cross training a lot of moto, and that's when I actually got faster and started winning stuff. When I just wasn't only riding trial stuff, I'd ride moto once or twice a week. And I went to school at San Jose State, and there used to be this moto track called the Duck Pond at Santa Clara Fairgrounds. And I would set up Thursday night class almost every semester. So in Thursday, the moto track was prepped from like 2 to dark or whatever they had lights. So I would ride a couple hours of moto and then go straight to class sweaty on Thursdays.
Nice. Okay. So let's see. Rick Tyler has a question. He says, with the West falling down, do you think that Manny and Billy and the guys of their caliber be racing in the American Series next year?
It would be pretty sweet, but the team they ride for has no money. So I don't see that happening.
I think this is across the whole industry. I think there's a lot of, nobody has any money.
Yeah. I think the Japanese companies have money, but they're very conservative right now because of the whole tariff. It's questionable tariffs on the horizon.
Yeah. It's this industry and all this stuff that we see. It goes up and down, and it's cyclical, and you just you kind of get used to it. I mean, you've been around long enough where it's been good times and bad times and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, for sure.
Our usual commenter Victor says he wants to tell you something. He says the worst part about a wrist injury, it gets uncomfortable to spank the monkey.
Get a better monkey.
That's why
Get-
you got to be ambidextrous.
Or yeah, I did both of my wrists, so he's probably trying to talk to me. I like Jimmy just said, get a better monkey.
Did you do them both at the same time?
I don't know because
okay.
I know that the one time I really did them, it was a big high speed crash in Dakar, and that was a factory rally bike that's kind of like an adventure bike, or at least all adventure riders would like to think so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But they try to kill you. So
Yeah.
right on. Okay, so next question. You have a YZ big bore 2-stroke now, and that's what you rode this week at Donner.
Yeah. So I kind of just been on the DL about it. I hadn't tested much on it yet, but RK Tech has been helping me out some trying to get this thing figured out. And I had a pretty good setup for high elevation. And then by the time I finally was done at the East Coast, I can actually ride that bike because I don't think people understand what I'm actually trying to do if they haven't ridden one of those bikes before in hard enduro. But yeah, the 265 kit, you can't really bore them out too much with the stock cylinder because it'll start getting hawks. The water jacket will be too thin. So it's just a stock cylinder that RK bored out for me and then sent it out to get re-Nicosil, and it's got a Wiseco piston in it. And at Donner Ski Ranch, it's around probably 7,000 feet. So it had a little bit higher compression head as well, just to deal with the elevation up there.
And I think, the YZ 250 stock is it's super responsive, light flywheel feel, really snappy and really responsive, which probably isn't the best for like hard enduro.
Yeah. But it doesn't have the bottom end either. Like it doesn't lug. Yeah. Like it kind of falls on its face. And then when it goes to, you get that right RPM curve. And I think it's like a mid-range RPM motor. Like that thing freaking takes off.
Yep.
Like a bat out of hell. So, we figured it out basically like decking the bottom of the cylinder to drop the port timing lower. That gives you the bottom end and it works at elevation because, you're down on power. But then when you go to sea level, it's really, really bad.
Like does it become kind of flat?
No, you like that hit you have kind of like when the power comes on a stock YZ, you touch the throttle and you have that hit instantly to the rear tire.
Okay.
So instead of like having a light switch in your house on a dimmer where you can kind of like turn it off and on the power to the light bulb power, the YZ with the deck cylinder is just like hitting a traditional light switch and the power goes all the way instantly.
Right.
So I showed up to battle the goats with kind of like a similar setup with less compression than what I had been. Like I had one Moab on that setup and really liked it. That was the first time I raced with the cylinder deck down. And then I had a head that was a little bit lower compression and I couldn't ride the bike. I think I kickstarted the bike 65 times at Battle of the Goats. It was bad.
Yeah. And then, so where are you on this electric starter?
They want me to send it back because I bought the first one. And then like a month after I bought it, they reimbursed me because I gave them so much attention, which was kind of cool.
Yep.
And I don't want to bash the guys. Like they obviously have a great product, but I sheared the flywheel key in Hawaii twice.
Because it's spinning the flywheel. It's using the flywheel as the starting wheel.
Yeah. So, and I think that it's a great, like, I don't think that the flywheel is shearing, and like they won't agree probably with what I'm saying, but I've talked to a couple other people that have had similar issues, and it's when you stall it under a load. So you come up and you unexpectedly stall the bike, and it kind of like lurches and like wants to keep running, but it stalls out. When you do that, there's a ton of torque, and the way the flywheel is rotating in the engine, that torque kind of like it basically breaks the nut free or the bolt free that holds that whole starter gear assembly onto the flywheel. So that comes loose, and probably within 5 minutes, it comes loose enough that the starter gear wobbles, and then you instantly shear the flywheel key.
Yeah, I know a little bit about this because we used to just put heavy flywheels on some of our mini bikes that we used to race. and this was a problem. Same thing, and that was mostly from like landing off of jumps where it would bog the motor down, but the flywheel would want to keep going. And we did all these crazy things where we were using these additives or like bonding agents actually on the crank tapers.
Lapping compound. Everyone's like, you need to put lapping compound.
No, they're so precise now. It's not like the old days when you would actually put it on there and you'd put the Dicam blue on it and you'd set it and scratch it and see. But we were using all different kinds of stuff, and frankly, we ended up having to do some pretty substantial things. And then I have an XR 650 that has a flywheel that does it on the starter as well. And since that's big industrial size stuff, it can handle it. But when you're talking about, you know, a YZ250, it usually has a little tiny
crankshaft on there,
little teeny flywheel. But what I think is really cool about a lot of this stuff is that you guys, you know, Yamaha, and you're kind of like learning, and like the trail riders out there, the guys that, you know, it's amazing how many people have kind of switched over to riding hard enduro. Like before, everybody, it wasn't a thing, but now there's a pretty core group of guys that want to ride gnarly stuff, and they're watching to see what you're doing, whether it's on a Yamaha or, you know, other bikes. So yeah, that's why I'm asking some of these questions, because I like riding that too.
Yeah, the eStart will. They want me to send it back. They want to just check it out. I don't think anything's probably actually wrong with it, minus the fact that I fixed it in a creek and probably got some creek water in there when I fixed it. But if I ever run it again, obviously I won't be able to carry like an impact with me on the trail. That's kind of serious business. But someone made a good point of basically just marking with a permanent marker where the flywheel key is. So then if I ever did shear the key, I can put it back on and have the timing right, which I thought was interesting. Just line up the permanent marker marks and put the flywheel back on if you do shear the key.
Yeah, come on. Yeah, really. That's impact driver material out in the trail. Although
that's true.
It is crazy that KTM, you know, the Austrian groups make such good bikes for that. Like when I go riding extreme enduro, I take my KTM 300. I don't make any bones about that. But if I want to go out and have fun and twist and rip the throttle, I ride a Yamaha
YZ.
Yeah, I ride my.
The problem now is when I first started riding the Yamaha, I was like, okay, I think I make this thing work, and it took longer than I thought it would be to make it work, which is fine. I know this. I'm learning.
Right.
But it was so fun to ride. Like the first couple months, I was like, this is the most fun bike to ride. And now I got a really good hard enduro setup, and my bike's not that fun to ride anymore compared to what it was.
Oh, you're talking about like when you're just out riding for fun, not trying to compete.
Yeah, it's just kind of like boo. It's just like,
yeah,
it doesn't like go anywhere in a hurry anymore. Like it pulls better.
This is why everybody complains about the KTMs. You know, you get on the KTM,
they're not as fun to ride.
They're not as fun to ride, and they're very purposeful, and they do something like, I want more snap and I want more of this, and then you're not going to be able to ride it where you think you want to ride.
Hard enduro very well. Yeah.
So got another question I got to ask, but I'm going to run through some of the things here. Chris Reel says, Cody, great job on your racing team stuff. Sometime we should talk about some professional business projects. You should talk to Chris. You've met Chris before, haven't you? He used to do a lot of the sound tests at the Endurocross races and things.
I don't know. What was his last name?
Chris Reel. Reel, R-E-A-L. Yeah.
Probably. Yeah. I don't remember right now.
What do you think of Beta 350 two-stroke, speaking of big bore? We're going to ask
Gary.
We're going to ask Gary that
I want to know too. Yeah. Ask Gary.
What do I think?
Yeah.
I like low bore stuff.
Is your microphone on? We hearing him?
Can you hear me now?
I'm gonna try. Let's try now.
Can you hear me? Test.
I hope so. Okay.
Yeah. All right, cool.
Gotcha.
I don't know. I like the low bore stuff. Like whenever I did Endurocross stuff, or like we did Last Dog Standing, I took a 200. I like to be able to rev them up and like the lightweight stuff. So me personally, I know the Beta 300 RX is one of my favorite two strokes because it has more of a pep than the regular 300 RR. But
yep.
I don't know, when you start getting too big of a bore on a
two slow down.
It's like the old 360s and 380s were never any fun to me.
Yeah.
So I don't know. We'll see what it does.
Yep. Gary Drummond says it was awesome seeing you ride the F-bomb at Silver Kings. Is that what they're calling the 4-stroke now?
I guess the F-bomb.
Yeah.
Yeah, honestly, it was really fun. And some of those guys, like, I was losing ground. I was struggling on the hills. And it's like, everyone's like, oh, you're a tall guy. It's great for hard enduro. It sucks on steep hills and ruts. All you do is drag your legs like anchors behind you. And like Ryder LeBlanc on the Husky, who's pretty short, he normally just leaves me in the dust in those races with steep hills. I don't know if it's me, but I'm blaming my long legs because Billy Bolt sucked at Silver Kings too. I nearly beat him. So that just shows that it's harder when you're taller because he smoked us at Erzberg. But in the creek, I caught up to all the guys in the front and they just looked like baby deer on their 2-strokes. And on my big board 250F, I was just like, and like, I was just sitting down, just riding up the creeks going like, this bike is so good in this scenario, but it didn't have enough power for the big poles and traction control was on. Maybe that's why I rode the creek so good.
Well, if it's a 1-button push to go between traction control and no traction control, shouldn't be too bad.
It's not a negative, I guess.
Yeah, that's why they make different kinds of bikes, so you can kind of figure out what you're looking at. Okay, I'm gonna put on my former race promoter hat here because you hated me for at least one day for sure, maybe a year. I felt really bad for you, believe it or not. The King,
there was one time that sucked.
King of the Motos. Yeah, and
that time sucked.
Yeah, it was. You should have hated me. I mean, it wasn't a trick.
It's okay. It ended up working out okay because Manny Letbickler lost in 2020 due to a very similar scenario, and I won. So it kind of leveled out.
You got it
in
back.
The grand scheme of things. Yeah. Yeah.
The interesting thing about so my question is, I got kind of bummed out when all of a sudden, like at Endurocross, they let you guys have more than one lap of practice, like, and then now at a lot of the races, you know, everybody's going out and walking the sections, and at Endurocross you get a full practice and stuff. What's your kind of opinion on, sight unseen, like actually having to pick lines and figure it out versus riding, doing laps or doing, getting to view the sections?
Yeah, for Endurocross, it's tricky because they're trying to treat it like Supercross, and Supercross obviously is a successful platform. So I think with that, there's something definitely behind allowing practice laps. But when it came to the hard enduro stuff, I was always I definitely hate walking the track. And honestly, the big thing now we have is like a lot of these kids don't have a family or anything else going on like I do, and they just disappear for 2 months. And like half the tracks are blown out by the time we get there. And I'm losing by like 30 minutes. And then we go to Moab where none of them been before. And I rode there once last year in the race and I beat them by like 15 minutes. And I'm like, okay, well, is it really the full true rider at this point? Or are you just like so confident in yourself because you've already ridden all these sections is that why you're doing so good, So for hard enduro, it like even Erzberg, like they have all these stupid tours you can sign up for. And I've never been able to go once because we're always either racing in the States or I have 2 little kids at home. I think my wife, I'm already gone enough. So I can't take that time away to do do
Yeah, to go on a Romaniacs tour and pre-ride the course.
Yeah, exactly. So that's what I did like a lot about like King of Motos type stuff was like we didn't even know where we were going. Yeah, and like you would let us walk the start hill, and that was it.
Yeah, and I mean that's why I'm asking, because I always kind of respected someone that could like kind of terrain read and do it the first time, because you guys were so good. The second time through, you already knew where you messed up, and you modify your line to because you're going to go kind of the fastest, hardest way in the beginning, but then if that doesn't work, you can pick sort of like an easier way that may take a little bit more time, and and kind of watching the ones like Erzberg, everybody knows, everybody knows the sections, and they don't allow walking there anymore, do they?
No, yeah, it's pretty nice because we would walk so much that week. You'd be tired before you even got to the race.
Yeah. So I don't know. There's some thing about that where, yeah, I think
Like Silver Kings this year was pretty good. Like I enjoyed it. I feel like the mountain race they had could have had like one or two more hard sections. But it was great. We just, following the ribbon, guys making mistake. Some people follow, some people take different lines, and someone gets hung up. Like, I feel like that's kind of what another challenge of what the race is trying to figure out the terrain and not follow when you need to, but then find alternate lines.
And was Silver Kings, do they put GPSs on, or it's just all marks?
It's all marks. It's, there's some pro splits, but it's mostly just like follow the blue ribbon, which is kind of Romaniac's is GPS, but it's honestly pretty much just to keep you honest. You can literally almost always see like the next blue ribbon for the most part in Romania. Yeah.
I remember. I was kind of surprised.
But also it's different too, because in Romania, you're on a old logging road or some military road in the forest. And then all of a sudden you peel off and go up a ridge for 30 minutes, where at King of Motos, it's open desert. And that place was really hard to read GPS terrain, especially because you would like sneak out there with your trials tire and like do a very good job of having a line shown.
Hey,
on the GPS.
I know you guys were all out looking for the trials tire thing. So I go ride into places that I shouldn't. And then I come back and I see tracks going up these mountains, and I'm like going, holy crap, they went and rode that. And that's like literally where Justin now has, he's, recreated that with all these different, new sections that everybody thought was going to be part of the race. we even
and then it's not.
Yeah. We even put markings on some things because we knew,
just to trick us.
Yeah. Just to trick you guys a little bit and make you go ride something and see if you could do it. And I'm like, oh my God, they rode up that. Well, I don't think I am. So we'll see. I always kind of said, I can't put it in the race unless I can ride it. And so what would take me like 45 minutes would take you guys like 5 minutes. And so it was completely ridiculous. A couple more questions for you here, Cody. Have you done any races in Arkansas?
I have not. There's a pretty good race. There's a kid named Jojo Toole. I think his dad used to ride trials against my dad back in the day, but he races some of the hard enduro stuff, and he put on a couple races. I forget the name of it right now. It looked pretty good. Buffalo Riders Extreme, maybe. But I never made it down there.
Yeah. And then Gary Drummond wants to know, do you run a different tire on the 250F versus the two-stroke?
No. I run different suspension setup. I had a hard enduro suspension set up for that bike in Silver Kings, which is obviously a little bit different. That's mostly just to account for like the engine braking the four strokes have. But in terms of the tire, it's same front tire, same front mousse. And I think the biggest thing we do is I do change up my rear tire depending on what venue or terrain I'm at, because I run IRCs now, and pretty much I stick only to the JX8, which is their hard enduro tire for the hard enduros. And at King of Motos, I'm on the 110, which is a smaller carcass. I go back east, I run a 140. At Donner last weekend, I was on a 120 width tire. So I kind of pick and choose. And then the mousse setup is honestly what we're most picky about in the rear over the tire.
And that's about how much you're drilling it out.
Yeah, how much you're drilling it out, or if I'm running that. Have you seen that new tech ProLock 360 they came out with earlier this year? So I ran that in probably half the races this year, and then the other half I'm on a mousse. So I actually he called me yesterday and we chatted. He's like, why don't you run it full time? And I'm like, well, there's times where it works. I also don't want to get a flat. I could easily put slime in, but I don't want to deal with slime. So I just put a mousse in.
Yeah, and you can combo that even with a mousse. You can put you can put a super dead mousse in there.
Yeah, the ProLock system we're actually running, they made like a specific mousse to run with their traditional tubeless or that ProLock, and they call it the 5150 or 5150 mousse, but it's kind of like the exterior shell of a mousse. Yeah. And it's just, in Hawaii, I ran it 0 PSI and I took the valve core out and then just put the valve stem cap back on. So I ran 0 PSI with an exterior bit of a moose in there, and it worked, I thought, really well.
Yeah, that's a different.
Well,
kind
you
of
were in
slippery.
Hawaii. You've done the Hare and Hound, right? I
Yeah.
think you've done the Hare and Hound there.
Yeah.
Yeah,
The
it's
Hare
a
and
whole
Hound,
nother kind of slippery.
the Hare and Hound is an extreme enduro.
It's not a Hare and Hound. Let's be real. It's
No, so yeah, that's the only race I took all my clothes off during the race and laid around in the forest for about 15 minutes, and I actually would have won the overall, but I forgot to pull one of the.
the tags. They do the remote text.
I rode right underneath the tag, but my photographer was there because I was doing a bike test at the time, and my photographer was there, and I'm like, oh, I hadn't seen him all day, so I better get a nice photo. So I popped a wheelie right underneath the thing, rode up to the finish line, and if I would have pulled that, I would have had one more than everybody else. I still finished fourth or fifth, but I got one that nobody else got, and I didn't care. I had so many cramps that day.
Sure.
I wanted to go surfing.
Yeah.
Hey, do you run the M5B, the IRC M5B?
I run that front tire, actually. That's normally the front tire I'm running. And then I have the M5B for like normal stuff here and there. And that thing is like the meatiest tire of all time.
When I was buying tires back in my early desert racing days, that's what I was running. And that tire is like legendary amongst people with CR 500s and then people that are broke. I don't know.
Yeah. So growing up, or like when I started racing, obviously, Kyle Redmond and his dad, Tim. So Kyle grew up riding at Bean Canyon, and his dad is like a hill climb master out there. So his dad would just buy M5Bs in bulk. And when I first started riding like hard enduro and endurocross, I would just be at Kyle's house and I'd take his dad's used M5Bs and just flip them. And I was running those tires.
Yeah. Jim Jarvis says, awesome job in Donner. So you ended up second place last weekend?
Yeah. I passed for the lead a few times, so it was a lot better than 11th place at Silver Kings.
Yeah, I was kind of surprised when I saw 11th. And then you're doing a vlog now, correct?
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, I'm trying to just like increase my brand, and I wish I had started it like 3 years ago, but people are very excited about the vlogs I'm doing.
Yeah, that's awesome. I wish I had more time to watch some of them, but you sound about as excited about your vlog as I do about this podcast.
Yeah, no, it's honestly really good. But now I have hired help here and there because it was just too much. I'd be like 3 weeks behind. People were like, "Oh, I'm following route. I'm doing this," and I'm like, "Oh, I'm already 3 weeks on to the next setup." I can't keep up enough. But
so
now
you have a filmer.
Well, I kind of have a filmer. Not really. I do, but I don't.
A filmer, like an editor, a filmer?
Yeah. Well, his name's Riley Bender. He races too. But he got hurt. So now I've kind of just taken him under his wing. He's 18. He's my little travel buddy. And I'm paying him on the side to hang out with me.
To knock out
be
some
my
videos.
Professional. Yeah, knock out some videos, be my editor. But, like he came with me to the East Coast and we were swapping out heads and trying to test stuff. So like he's proficient at bike work too. So he does a little bit of it all.
Well, when you get sick of him, fire him, send him down here because I need somebody to do all that same kind of shit.
Too? Yeah,
the filmer. But my filmer has to pick my bike, my adventure bike up, and take it over the logs when we're out on the trails, and I just stand around and just stay in the shade. That's what my filmer got, because I want to do it like the long way round guys, where I don't actually really ride the bike except for in the glory scenes. Yeah, because I'm not that good anymore.
Isn't that what Bear Grylls was doing? Wasn't he like staying in hotels and pretending to?
Yeah, it's reality TV, but that's kind of
questionable.
That's what kind of these vlogs are like.
That's what vlogs are. Yeah, exactly.
it's all the good stuff, or most of the good stuff, or just the stuff you don't want people.
My
to see.
biggest thing is like all the machinists were like, oh, all machinists do is just hate on me, like drilling my swing arm or this and that. And I'm like, dude, I'm a dirt bike rider who's cheap and I have Ryobi drills. Like, suck it. Guess what? You can't ride a dirt bike as good as me. So is this why you're talking shit? Like, I don't know.
I'll bet you they're not mechanical engineers either.
Yeah, exactly. I'm figuring it out. Like,
yeah.
Could you do this with my crappy tools?
It's
probably, but
it's product testing. It's the way.
It's not my profession. Yeah.
Stuff. Yeah. So Cody Webb on Tech Talk Taco Tuesday night. Thanks for dropping all that information on the bike. Hey, when you get these things dialed in a little bit better, I want to have you back on the show. Just to kind of talk, try some stuff out. Maybe you could come down and Dirt Bike Test can ride some of your bikes. I don't know, probably all the other media outlets. That that Trevor Hunter kid. You familiar with that kid?
Yes.
Yeah.
Why I don't know him personally, but I am familiar.
Oh, he rides everything. We'll just put him on there and he'll tell me what he thinks, and then I'll disqualify his opinion and I'll write about it.
Yeah.
Hey, thanks for coming. Any sponsors you want to thank? Anybody you want to give some
well, yeah, obviously Yamaha for even like believing in me, whatever this crazy idea I had was, but it's worked out pretty well. And I think they're surprised by it.
See, I'm flashing the Yamaha logo.
Flashing. Yeah, I mean, they could always pay me more, like maybe like an hourly wage for bike work would be cool. But no, in all honesty, it's been a lot of work. But like, I can call head of racing and he'll answer my phone on a Tuesday at like 4 p.m.
That's awesome.
So
and they're pretty interested in what you're doing.
Yeah, they seem to be quite interested. So, they did not have a YZ300X for me like everyone thought they did. That would be nice, but guess what? I'm still riding. I'm still out here getting podiums. I won a race this year. So Yamaha, just for even having this opportunity, it's been really cool for my brand. I just need more help. So like you said, you need more help with your podcast. I need more help too. And then Rocky Mountain has been huge support for me this year as well. Trying to do some more content stuff with them, but I'm just busy. But they do some cool stuff.
Can people click through a link?
There is
someplace at the end of your vlog. Is it flash up there? Well, I just want to tell everybody don't do that. Don't do that. Until Cody gets his set up.
Dirt bike test.
Do the dirt bike test one. Yeah, go to Dirt Bike Test support because I need all those nickels.
Yeah, we both do.
So half the orders.
I'm a weird situation though, because like Rocky Mountain sponsors my team, but then I also set up. I think I'm the only like dual sponsorship person from them.
Oh, dual sponsorship.
Well, I have like an affiliate deal, which is kind of like what you have.
Right.
And then I also have like the team sponsor. And I was like, I really want to make a push to do content stuff this year, which is why I'm focusing on all the vlog stuff. So I think they're pretty happy about that.
You're doing content right now.
Yes.
So yeah, thanks to Rocky Mountain, they do that affiliate thing with us. It helps. But if Cody gets his up and running, you can go to his. Whoever you like more. That's what you got to go. You got to.
Yeah.
and then probably everything you're trying on your bike, you can probably buy through Rocky Mountain.
Just about, I think. And then Bulletproof Designs, they have really good products as well, but I don't think you can buy everything yet on Rocky Mountain. You got to buy some of the Yamaha stuff through them because, Yamaha buys stuff, or Rocky Mountain kind of buys it in bulk from Bulletproof. So, and then Red Bull's they didn't pay me anymore. I'm still on the same salary from 10 years ago or whatever, but they are sending me like support to the hard enduros and sending the guy with the huge rig. So I got the Pimpus pit set up and I didn't have to spend any money on that. So that was cool. Thank you, Red Bull, for making me look good.
Is it still Mario?
Yeah, Mario. Mario's coming to the races for me. He's my pit setup.
Yeah, rubber heel.
yeah. Super Mario.
Yeah, Mario's awesome. Well, cool. A couple other quick questions. Ron says the vlog is pretty funny. Sparuni says thanks for answering my questions. Do you cut any length off of the 996?
I do not. There's some other stuff I do that Renthal will get mad if I told people, but I may or may not make some space for more perch space on the bars.
Yeah.
You can get that tool at Home Depot. I'm not going to tell you what I do, but I get some more perch space on the bars.
That's some of your content.
And then, I'm not going to post that because Renthal, they're hard to get sponsored by, and I feel fortunate enough. So hopefully Paul doesn't watch this podcast.
No, nobody does. Only
and then
51 million.
I may or may not use that same tool on my crossbar.
Yeah.
I have like fat bar-ish 996s.
Yeah, sounds good. Victor says, what gearing are you running on the Yamaha?
So I'm running 1250 for most of the hard enduros. I was really trying to run
Wow.
1352. I tried 1352, didn't work. I put a WR transmission in my bike from 04 to 06, 4-strokes, the 400 to 426. Yeah, that was kind of a waste of 2 days. It didn't work like I wanted it to.
So you're trying to get a super wide ratio.
Yeah. First gear was way too low on that setup. So
Yeah.
I could get first gear to work good, and then the gap
to second
was too big. And then I would get second to be good, and then first gear was pretty much pointless. So
yeah,
I have feedback for Yamaha.
That's good. Well, right on. Hey, I really appreciate your time this evening. Thanks for coming on, and we'll keep in touch. And I'm sure they're stoked. They said that they're liking it. Yeah,
keep on killing it.
Yeah, keep on killing it. Cody Webb, Yamaha Blue Crew rider on Tech Talk Taco Tuesday night. Thanks a lot, Cody. Appreciate it, and we'll hopefully see you out on the trail. Cheers.
Somewhere. Yep.
Okay.
Later, guys.
See ya. That was Cody Webb, everybody.
Funny guy.
Yeah,
Funny
it's funny because I thought he wanted to kill me after that King of the Motos because he
DQ'd him, right?
No. He so basically it was right at the finish. You're coming down this one downhill, and on the first loop you went down one trail, and on the second loop you came down the other trail, and I think on his GPS he didn't clear off the first loop's trail or something. I don't remember exactly what happened, but he went the wrong way, so he missed a checkpoint. And you don't get DQ'd; you just have one less checkpoint than everybody else. So you finish behind everybody that has one less checkpoint. So, but I mean, I felt bad because he just dominated. He just really dominated that year. And but
he
that's
won the first one, didn't he?
No, that Graham Jarvis won the first one.
Jarvis, that's right.
Jarvis did. Yep.
The cool trophies laying around there somewhere.
So it's a bummer that California won't let Yamaha sells the WR2. Boo. Well, it's a competition bike. Okay. Well, that was Cody Webb, everybody. That was awesome. Back to my in studio guest, Jimmy. We finished off a bottle.
Finally,
like the job. I mean, you brought this out here probably
2 years ago.
3 years ago. Yeah.
It's
the blackened. This is Metallica. A Metallica whiskey. Yeah. Well, we're going hard at it. Well, there's still some in there. You didn't. When I say finish it off, I mean I'm talking turn that thing upside down and make sure good to the last drop. Okay. I'm gonna have that right there. And then this other one I brought out. Victor says we're borrachos. From drinking all this here. Hold on, let me use the emergency camera right there, Victor. That's my pour right there. Be careful.
Big. It's big.
And then we went to this, which was recommended at your favorite place, the Iden Stills. Yeah, somebody said that's better than.
It was very good.
Better than Jameson. It's less expensive.
Is it really?
Mm-hmm.
It's better.
Yeah. Okay. Good. Glad you agree with that. Now, since last time we thought we killed off. This is whiskey too. We have to kill it. We didn't. We got the main part. You have to figure out how to get your monkey brain into that cap, and we can drink the cap.
Monkey trap here.
Okay.
I carry a knife everywhere I go, so there's a way in.
So Gary, owner of Sportsman Cycle, welcome to the show.
Hey, thanks for having me.
Did you have any beta questions for Cody?
Not really. I mean, I've been with Beta since about 2014, and we got a number plate for our wall for every dealer that he signed and everything. So,
oh, cool.
And then he left us and went to RPM, which Mike's a good guy, and we know him pretty good.
Yeah.
Too, so.
And you've been brought up in the whole racing scene. You done ISDE.
Yep.
A lot of the Moran stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, chasing all that stuff. So have a lot of experience. From every account, and I know this because I don't remember what I needed. I needed a KTM piston, like emergency pronto, and like try getting that in Vegas at a KTM dealership. Forget it. No, the Beta shop has the KTM piston I need, and somehow managed to get it from somebody to Logan to get it out here. but the customer service was incredible, and want to say thank you for that, and heard nothing but good things. So
Awesome.
back to that Beta 350 question that somebody asked. So that's kind of Beta's new bike that they're introducing, 350 2-stroke.
Yeah.
Motocross?
Straight moto.
Motocross bike.
Yeah.
That's a vet bike.
That's
A lug.
I feel like
a
it's gonna be
lugger.
a handful.
Yeah.
I mean, everybody's talking about it. They're like, "Are you guys gonna make an off-road version?" And they're saying no. It's just straight moto. Because if you ever rode the RX compared to the RR, it's got the 38 mil carb on it.
Yep.
And it has the different bore and stroke than the RRs do. So they're complete different animals. So they're doing away with the 300 RX and bringing the 350. And we've already got a list of people that have put money down, and everyone that we've ordered sold.
Really?
And people are excited about it. I'm curious because I don't like big bore 2-stroke, so we'll see what it does.
Yeah, I'd like to ride it too. I need to reach back out to them, you know, because since we're Yamaha, all we talk about is Yamahas, you know, and we never say anything good about any of the other brands, only about Yamahas here. But I definitely would like to. And then you've sold a bunch of X trainers some of our test bikes have been sold back through you to people we know, and a couple of my friends out here have them. So that's the other end of the spectrum. And they have a new one of those this year, or is it just kind of redesigned? Or
no, they come out with they brought in the 250 cross trainer last year.
Yep.
And they're not importing that this year because the sales weren't really there. They kind of just made that one because in Japan they have like a cap on CCs of what you can do, so that bike's pretty much just a Japanese imported bike. And we decided to test the market here, and we sold a few of them, but not as much as the 300s for sure. But they're changing it a little bit this year, I believe. But
yeah, it's a really, I've seen other manufacturers take a stab at that market, and Beta just kills it. It's just such a good bike for what it's designed for, and I don't know why, but people that buy that bike are smart, because they buy it, and then if they outgrow it, they get something else. They don't try to, not like when people buy the little dual sport bikes, little, 250F and 300 dual sport bikes, and they spend, I'm going to put a big bore kit in, I'm going to put a pipe on, I'm going to modify this, I'm going to get new suspension for it. And by the time you're done, you have a $16,000 thing that's still kind of a pile of crap. But speaking of that, Trevor did the Big Bear dual sport race and failed miserably. Yeah. Dual sport race, failed miserably, smashed the hole in the side cover, and then did he blow his muffler apart too? It's Temu muffler.
I thought I saw that, but I assumed it. Maybe that was just me assuming that would happen.
It sounded like it was blown out when he started it up. Let's just put it that way.
Right off the shelf. Yeah.
Yeah. So he wanted to see what a $100 muffler can do, which is I give the thing maximum like 40 hours before the rivets come out.
There's just nothing left.
Yeah. And
paper.
So the one he got is a knockoff of an FMF. It looks just like an FMF. That's what they saw the picture of when they made whatever they did. And all they do is just drop a big ass core in it, probably hardly any packing, and then pop rivet some shit together. The one I bought a few years ago was a knockoff of a Pro Circuit one, and over the course of it was a rental bike, and I just needed, because people kept breaking the muffler on the rental bike, so then I couldn't get a stock one. It was for CRF 230, I think it was.
Yeah.
And Crazy Nate, because it had a big gun on it that was obnoxiously loud, and so I wanted something quieter. So I bought this Pro Circus muffler off of the Amazons or wherever the heck I bought it from. It was super loud, so I knew I had stuff that I could put in Pro Circuit ones. Sure enough, it fit right in. The end cap, I changed the end cap, put the slide, different pieces in there, and I got it working. But then the pop rivets all came loose, and just same old story. And Trevor needs JB weld that dries a lot quicker. Yeah, he brought regular JB weld.
He didn't buy the
JB Quick. Why would you do that? Like, why wouldn't you have the 2-part epoxy and JB Quick? But who knows?
He's a dink guy.
Live and learn. Yeah, he goes around the thing. Oh, look, I got a text message from Trevor. I wonder, he says, do you want me to call in? Let's see. If you're watching the show, yeah. Oh, don't worry. One of his buddies that he hires to watch the show. I really need a producer and a filmer, Trevor. Get me one of those guys. Let's see. What other questions do we have? We had some. You had a. Oh, I know what we need to talk about because it's a sponsor by Yamaha. The new 2026 YZs are out. All new YZ 450. Better handling. It doesn't look like much, but better handling, improved engine character, and an industry first. It's for all YZs. The Power Tuner app now lets you put a security code in it so that people can't start your bike. You can lock your ECU, which is really cool.
Yeah.
That's free. That comes free with it. So new Yamaha's lots of YZ125 comes in new 70 anniversary colors. So check out.
Somebody steals the bike.
Your local.
Locked it in your garage.
They can get the bike, but they'll never start. They'd have to buy an ECU.
They have to go to a dealer or something to unlock it. And then that's going to trigger it.
I would hope that, if people buy ECUs, you have to show them a VIN number or a registration or something like that. I mean, I'm sure there's a crooked dealer someplace that'll do that, but it's the wheelie boys. I mean, Yamaha's getting more exposure from LA car chases than any other brand, like by far and away. And I don't know why. I don't know if they're the easiest to steal. But Yamaha didn't like that.
Are any of those guys paid or what? Maybe they're
influencers. I don't know.
I'm starting to put their graphics.
Yeah.
The 2027 YZ graphics.
Tournament 90.
So Tyler says, Gary, let's go riding. Jimmy doesn't want to go with me. That must be this Jimmy. Do I know Tyler? Which Tyler is this? Because you guys are all Tylers.
Yeah. Well, Tyler is cousin of the rider that I used to wrench for.
Okay.
So we grew up with him.
Oh, that's Tyler, Justin Wallace's?
Yeah, it's Justin's cousin.
He wanted to go riding with you?
No, not me.
Was it me?
Ride with you.
I don't think he wants to go riding with me. People don't realize they don't want to go riding with me. Like Link doesn't want to go riding with me anymore. He's scared, right?
Yeah.
Let's talk about that.
Oh, yeah.
Thanks for bringing the tugger, Jimmy.
You're welcome.
Yeah. I don't know how you shredded it. I know how you.
I forgot I lost them for 2.5 miles, and you detected it.
Well, yeah, I can see the tracks on the ground.
Whatever. You trackered it, and you go, dude, you went a long time without Link.
Yeah.
So.
Because I caught up to him.
Like 2.5 miles.
Yeah, I went. Well, I don't know how you. I mean, I can see when you're going downhill, you wouldn't really know somebody was behind you. But
I was toted like 45 minutes, and then he fell off for 10 minutes. It's pretty good for my brain.
Okay. Yeah, but
I mean,
Jim.
I just kind of forgot I was like that single speed novice we talk about in class. You know, that's how when somebody down a 2-track is.
All right, so
just kind of check out mentally.
Jimmy pulled my tugger. If he went through his wheel, through his spokes, through his sprocket.
That's when I noticed he lost him was when that.
When it finally
it locked up. Because that was wrapped.
I saw the turnaround on the road, and I had just passed a car, and I'm thinking to myself, like, why is that fresh? That's fresh. Like that wasn't there for too long. So, okay, we're gonna have a big problem here if this thing goes dead.
It's not charging.
But yeah, it just gave me a low power warning. Oh, good, I saved the day. Do you want me to call in? Trevor still hasn't called in. He does not. If you watch the show, Trevor, you can call in. If you're not watching the show, then you're not going to get to call in and make your case, because I'm sure somebody told you that we're bagging on you. This is the best to keep the whiskey.
Without a doubt.
Yeah.
Without a doubt, it's my favorite.
Yeah. So Addictivo whiskey. I'll put it on the.
When a tequila company gets whiskey right.
Yeah. So it's on the. I don't know. Does the emergency camera work? This doesn't work. This is broken. There we go. This is the pick of the evening right there.
Without a doubt.
Just in case. Okay. So MSR Quick Steel is what Mark Daniels recommends. And I think that's all we got in the chat. Okay, what else? We have a Rooster Endo. Do you know about Rooster Endo?
I do not.
It's brought to you by Moto. That's one of our sponsors. Hey, some of our other sponsors are Scott Sports, Climb, DDC, Trail Tech, Fasst Company, Bulletproof Designs, and Double Take Mirrors, all bringing you this show. I need to send them all invoices because I forgot to do that for the whole last year. But we're getting millions of views, so I'm going to send out invoices again. That's how it works. Rooster Endo brought to you by Moto. Let me see if I can get this show to show the bike, and then this is Alex Maka.
My favorite part.
You got to say the name.
Alex
Marchakushis, yeah. Rooster Endo, right there. Oh, that's an old one. I thought I brought it in.
The wrong one.
That's the wrong one. That guy won before.
Yeah, that guy. That's so sweet.
Let's see.
This is like his dad's bike and him on it, and he's still riding it. That guy's like an adult.
Eric
still riding that old thing.
I added it into the show.
Yeah, we're looking for a 2021 500 EXC.
Let's see. I can go onto this screen over here. I'll find it. You start telling everybody. Let's get them.
Okay, let's talk about it.
See what it is.
She's a 2021 KTM 500 EXC. Got Tusk handguards, Tusk rear brake protector, Fastway exhaust end cap, Takomoto tidy tail, Takomoto Get ECU smog removal. Got the Acerbis 3.1 on it. Polysport swing arm.
I got his bike on the screen just in case you got it.
Now we talk shit about his bike. We talk.
No, we discussed the bike.
Yeah, no, we do.
And the bike that brings us the most satisfaction is the one that wins.
Like how you what he's got on there that he needs and don't need.
But I'll tell you what. So number one is here's how he's going to win. Because he's the only one that sent it in. So if you want to know how you can get selected for Rooster Endo, you send in a picture of your bike with your list of what you did, or tell us a little bit about your bike, and then we discuss it like we are right now, and
discuss front rotor guards, talk on shit on those.
Well,
you don't like those?
Oh no. No. Those are. That's why I have one made out of wood. That's disposable. It's a breakable one because I feel like. I'm weird, but I can feel it. I don't know if it's just catching the wind or whatever, but they bother me.
Well, I decided to put one on last year because I got to test out the Alpine Star deployable vest. Because I hit a rock and it bent my rotor in the front, and I tumbled down a hill, and the vest works.
Oh, so okay.
So I put one on.
So you bent your rotor. Did you put your tire someplace you shouldn't have? Not on purpose, but did you knowingly whack your front disc on something?
I didn't do it on purpose, and I didn't see it until I was about to hit the ground with my face.
Oh, the rock that hit your disc rotor.
Yeah.
And it hit it really hard, and then it caused you to go over the handlebars?
Yeah, it folded my front
instant.
rotor.
Okay, so I actually had a front rotor blow up. I was doing some tire testing, so I was doing a lot of repeated front brakes, and I had a disc rotor tear out of the hub. And it folded up like Swiss cheese behind the rotor because when it broke, it kind of started folding up, and that was gnarly. But that wouldn't help one of those wouldn't help my case. But okay, so you smashed into a rock, and immediately after that, the rotor was so bent it caused you to crash.
Yeah, just went.
Yeah, you should probably run those.
That's what I do now. I was way against them before, but
that's how you do it.
I don't ride like that anymore.
Yeah, me neither.
I don't put my wheel where hit the front. But okay, so back to Alex's bike.
So yeah, it's got a seat concepts for comfort seat. I like that. Slavens 90-degree fuel cap. I don't even know what that is.
It says fuel tap.
Oh, fuel tap. I should learn to read. Yeah, fuel tap. Okay, yeah. Goldman fuel filter. Molecule skid plate. Double take mirrors. Kenda Parker DTs. BPD swing arm guards. I thought he had Polysport swing arm guards.
Okay, but he claimed Kenda Parker on the back. Are we gonna have to? Oh, that's it. Yeah, that's the Parker. Yeah, there you go. I can see it on the front for sure. It's noticeable on the front. He's got a lot of stuff on that thing.
There's a lot of protection on there. Does he crash?
No, he doesn't have a front disc guard, so he's probably a
is he a crasher like me?
Nice, safe rider. But okay, so here's where we start discussing the bike. So, okay, you guys got to do a little bit better on the photos. I like the nice flat light. I mean, the light, it looks like it was shot just the sun was going down. Yeah. It's not in his garage, but good grief, this isn't an Instagram program. Send us a photo that fits on the screen. Come on. And you could have at least taken your buddy's bike out of the picture too. Because, we're trying to be professional around here with this stuff.
That bike comes with a spark arrestor, so I'm guessing the Fastway is for just to uncork it a little bit.
Yeah, because you probably didn't you have Takomoto ECU?
Yeah.
So it's like when you go to Takomoto, you just don't get one thing. You get the pipe, you get the emissions delete kit, you get the ECU. It's kind of like a whole package because
Taco tested.
So his bike would be too good for someone like Cody Webb. So he has to modify it so that Cody Webb couldn't ride it by putting all the stuff on it. You remember Cody's talking about detuning his bikes, and these guys are all tuning their bikes up. I run my KTM stock. Like I don't have the ECUs and stuff in them. I mean, I can barely use the 35 horsepower my KTM 500 puts out. Okay, it goes plenty fast. I ride it up and down Mexico, but it's okay. You're getting it. You don't worry, Alex. You're getting $100 gift certificate from Taco Moto tonight, and I'm sure they have plenty of other things that you could add to this thing. But it's not. No, that's a nice
Actually,
cherry.
I mean, there's a lot of protection in it.
Yeah, it's got. Yeah,
I personally just don't like all the protection, that kind of swing arms and stuff. But that's
well, no,
it's cool. I feel like
he has the plastic. He has the plastic swing arm protectors on the side, but he also, I think he talked about having the bulletproof designs, the one that goes on the chain guard. Yeah, he has a shark fin. I don't know if that's a bulletproof design shark fin.
Oh, the chain guard. I got you.
Yeah, you know, the one that keeps the chain guide from getting slapped all the way off. He needs a DDC sprocket though. Definitely could use the DDC on the sprocket. I think good thick molecule skid plate.
Gary? Yeah. Mechanical.
Yeah, because one of the reasons we have you on the show is because evidently somebody can call you up and says, my beta started doing this, and this, and you go, and you think it's electrical problem. You know it's an we knew it was some sort of electrical problem, electrical fuel pump, and you go, nope, the steering stop bolt's missing.
That was one of the most beautiful.
So the cool thing was when we got a support ride for beta, we got the first fuel injected one. So anything that you could break, we did. Okay. So we made a whole diagnostic list, and that was actually one thing that we found out in the 2017 beta dealer meeting was we had just signed a full contract, full factory ride and everything, and we were out there just riding with everybody, just hanging out, and we had done the same thing because we had broke a frame, the steering stem bolt like mushroomed the triple clamp and caused it to go loose. So we put the new frame on it, and he's like, I want to be able to turn it better. And then it was every time I turn left, the bike dies. I'm like, what the hell's going on? So you kind of look, and you turn the bars to the left, and the fork would unplug the regulator on the bars or on the frame. Yeah. And so then we went to the dealer meeting, and one of the other riders, I think it was Chance Fullerton or Ty Collins, was riding the bike, hit a big left turn, and just poof. This dude, your bike just died. Yeah. Did you take your frame stops out? He's like, yep.
Yeah, because betas are not known for having a really tight turning radius, especially stock. I mean, the steering stop comes into play, you know.
Yeah, some of them are sent from the factory out like a bunch of threads to where they don't turn at all.
Yeah. KTM's also like KTM adventure bikes and stuff are notorious for not having steering sweep. Yeah. You know, and so I would always run it in so my fork would actually come back and just barely touch the radiator. Yeah. It was sort of because I wanted the maximum amount of sleep, not for when I'm riding, but when I'm going to turn the damn thing around, kind of a deal. But that was pretty amazing that we, you know, it was again one call to Gary, and he goes, oh yeah, it's steering bolt, and sure enough, the steering stop bolts out. And I mean,
you and Gary are a lot alike, and like you kind of make like throwing your advice around and kind of like. Duh. Like everybody knows that, but you guys got like this super freaking deep knowledge. But you like to pretend like kind of make the guy feel dumb for not knowing it. I love that about you, both of you.
It's experiential. It's experiential learning. I'm going to see if I can fix your thing here, head on the screen there. There you go. There's Gary. This is the guy. The guy that we wanted to come out here. So if you have beta questions, this is the time. This is the time and the guy to ask, because you're probably going to get. Because I don't know betas that well. I wonder if I've ever raced a beta. I mean, I know I haven't like Grand Prix and things like that, but I don't know that I've raced a beta in like a real big race. Probably should, but no, I haven't. So I've ridden them a bunch, but they used to, like Tim used to just give us the bike and he'd go thrash it, you know, take it and thrash it. And, you know, because magazine guys are notorious for taking something like a beta or back then a gas or a Husaberg, and they'll ride it around and get the pictures, and it gets parked in a shed. And then they take it back with 30 miles on it after they ride a whole test. Where I took them and I've rode them a fair amount. So I had they were always indestructible. And then Big John had a beta. We tore that thing apart and did it.
Gary's holding that bike?
Yeah, we framed that thing and took it apart, and I was like, this thing's built like a tractor. It was pretty nice. So bring out your beta questions and we can get you answers for those. Let's see. Is that Flow Orange? Oh, and Alex. Oh, so Alex is in the thing. He says, I race speedway bikes for years, so I enjoy the power. And I was going to say something about speedway, but like, Gene Woods would probably kill me if I said like what I think of speedway guys.
Oh yeah.
It's ridiculous. Like everything you do on a motorcycle, it's backwards in speedway.
It has to be.
Yeah, you back off the throttle to get traction and go faster. You have no brakes. You just pitch the damn thing sideways to slow down. They only go like 4 laps. They're not very good for long distance riding. No suspension, very little. But fuck, is it fun to watch?
It's cool shit to watch.
Yeah, it's good times. Yeah, go to Costa Mesa Speedway. Go check out Brad Oxley's show. Hey, we got to finish this cap, by the way. Keep it going. That's new tacos tonight, by the way. This show is also brought to you by Woodworks Frame and Door.
Door and frame.
Door and frame. Well,
They sponsored the tacos.
Woodworks sponsored the tacos tonight. Woodworks Door and Frame. Did I say it wrong when I gave you the plug before the race too?
With your
something
international.
So it's why it's confusing for me, because most of the doors you sell are metal, right?
Yes. In fact, we really shy away from wood.
Okay.
Yeah, the name's not really that right. Yeah, people call us wood. Some nice wood front doors and stuff. Like, bro, sorry.
Woodworks.
Why'd you call us?
Door and frame. Because you're called Woodworks. Okay, I can't even get the name right. I mean, TJ, it does better than that than me, and there's not many things that TJ does better than me, except for that, and then working really, really hard.
Riding mountain bikes.
Yeah. Yeah, another one of your sponsored riders. I told him I think I got you better results. Did I beat him at that race? No, did he finish ahead of me at the one race I did?
National? I don't know. No, I think he got.
I can't remember. Okay, so Alex, reach out to me in your email, and I will make sure you get you're hooked up with your Taco Tuesday Taco Moto gift certificate for Rooster Endo. Your bike probably roosts.
It does.
But the photo endos, and therefore I'm calling it an endo. Yeah. And if you guys think you could do better, just send us a picture of your bike. Send it to my email. It's really hard. It's my name @dirtbiketest.com. If you can't figure that out, maybe you should do something else. Okay, I got another question. This is about fuel consumption. You gonna try to read that one, Jimmy?
Yeah. Hey, Jimmy. Sorry it seems little long-winded, but I'm just trying to give you the most information possible. I have 2 sons. Both race at a fairly high A level in enduro, hare scrambles, and cross country. The younger one rides a 2023 KTM 300 XCW, 6'2", 190 pounds. Older brother rides a 2023 red KTM, gas 300 XC. He's 6', 220. This guy's got some big old farm boys, don't he? The problem is fuel consumption. The red KTM is always the first out of fuel on any given ride or race. For example, recent cross country, the red KTM was dead empty after 50 kilometers and 31 miles for loop was 35 miles.
Does he think this podcast is recorded in Canada?
Dude, we don't use kilometers here.
Or South Africa or something?
Speak American.
Yeah. Okay. We'll just go with miles, although I do
go
a lot
35 miles.
35 miles.
Yeah.
That's
the KTM.
30. It was out in 31 miles on a KTM, or the gas.
The gas. The KTM still had 2 liters, half gallon of fuel. As far as I know, none of the other competitors had fuel issues either. The older brother is definitely heavier and rides the heavy throttle hand, but I'm not sure if that's enough to make up for the difference. Both motors are completely stock internally. Both run FMF pipe and silencer. Looking forward to your thoughts.
This is Clint that sent this question in.
Clint.
And so
I'd like to switch bikes one day and see if how much the rider is.
I didn't even think that's a great idea.
Yeah.
Yeah. See if the fuel consumption goes down when the other one is on the other bike. So I sent him back.
They're both close enough in weight and size and stuff. It's not going to be a big deal.
Gary has thoughts.
The next part.
Yeah, we're
also
gonna.
has to
So that came after I sent him.
Okay.
I sent him the thing, and I said, so I've seen huge differences in riders. Notice there's a beta.
Yeah, that's
thing
what. I saw this carbureted thing with a beta.
You saw beta. You saw beta. Your eye just went straight to. I can fix this. Okay, so we'll get to that in a minute. So, so I sent him back and I said I've seen huge differences based on riders. And typically, when you have a rider that can just blow through the gas, they also blow through tires. Yeah. They're spinning a lot. They're just not. They're on the clutch. They'll go through clutches too. By the way. These are two things that higher fuel consumption riders tend to do, especially if they're kind of riding at the same speed. A ride. They're not one's a C rider, one's an A rider, but they're both A riders. They're kind of doing the same sort of thing. So you're going to see things because that gas makes power, and power has to go someplace through the clutch, through the tire, shoot and roost, all this kind of stuff. So that can be a thing. Since these are fuel injected bikes. Because I used to tell people all the time, if your float level adjustment is off and the float level it's overfilling, it's spilling out the overflows, fuel injected bikes are not that much more efficient than carbureted bikes in my experience. The difference is how much they spill out the overflows. And I checked this when fuel injection first started with 4-strokes. We put baggies on the bottom of the fuel tubes and collected the fuel. And sure enough, the amount of fuel that was in the baggie was the difference in the carbureted versus the consumption, the increased fuel economy. And so the float level was always pretty critical on bikes like that. But these are fuel injectors, so that's not a problem. But so throttle hand, the FMF pipe's not going to change the fuel consumption by any measurable amount. Silencer, same thing. Those aren't going to change it. But I also told them that in my experiences, the gas 2-strokes have always been a little bit better performance-wise than the KTMs or the Huskies. And the very first time that they made red KTMs, gases, I noticed this. I asked the KTM media guy. He said, no, they're absolutely the same. I said, no, something's different. Then I talked to somebody at KTM that really knew, and they're like, oh yeah, the power valve, the ramping on the power valve was different. They actually changed some stuff. And so I don't know if they're still doing that with the ECUs. Each one has an individual tune. That could be a little part of it, but it shouldn't be this much.
Two half a gallon. So,
and I said the other thing is the fuel tank capacity could be different. It could be that simple because they are a little bit different shapes. Mm-hmm. And maybe, measure the actual fuel capacity. It could be, what do you say, a quart or two different?
He said
so
half a gallon.
Yeah. So, I mean, 2 liters is a lot. So, anyways, so he got back to me and he said he has not measured the fuel capacity. Both tanks are stock and they have the old style fuel pump because I was wondering if it was the new one that has the new one that, by the way, Moto is making, it's almost here. They're making they call it snorkel that goes down and sucks all the fuel out of the bottom of the thing. Because remember that time we had to push that KTM back that had fuel in the bottom of the tank that we couldn't figure out why it stopped running because I didn't have oil in the tank. That one. Yeah, that one had gas in the tank and it kind of ran out, kind of blew up. Yeah. So anyway, so it wasn't one of those. It's the old style fuel tank. And so biggest difference I see is rider weight and style. I don't see him wanting to buy a new ECU. So my recommendation to him will to buy a new beta with a carb so I can at least have a chance of tuning and diagnosing problems. So
Gary, what do you think you should do?
I mean, that's good. That's a good plan.
Buy a new beta, right?
I mean, it's tried and true. We've actually had
sportsman, get a new beta. Easy.
Fuel injection patent since I think 2015. So
beta.
Yeah. And we're going to stick with the carb.
And he said, I forgot to mention earlier that both bikes have almost identical hours on the top ends, 15 to 20-ish. And thanks for the help. So Clint, I think beta would probably not be a bad idea either, but Yamaha, Blue Crew makes a YZ250X that could just fit right in there. I mean, it's so powerful. Cody Webb has to detune it. And so it's obviously will blow the doors off of any 300. The new 2026 YZ250 and YZ250X are available in 70th anniversary Yamaha colors, in case you were wondering. But I will tell you, I don't know if you can agree with me or disagree with me. Betas are not known for fuel economy.
I think it depends on who rides it. I mean, this is when I was looking at it.
Yeah,
the kid that works for me is just on. If it had a rev limiter, he's on it all day long. And with the 3.5 gallon tank on it, he runs out in about 45 miles.
Whoa!
Where I'm on the same bike and I think I could go 85.
Okay.
And we've actually had him in a Hare and Hound. We're like, hey, why don't you run it with the oil injection? You know, I get 3 tanks out of it, and it's an 80-mile race. And 79 miles in, he started pushing the bike because he ran out of oil in it. I was like, how the hell did you go through so much oil?
Wide open.
Yeah, but he's a little bit more than I am.
Yeah.
So that whole riding style thing to me is...
Yeah, for sure.
You know, he is. I definitely run a gear high everywhere. He does not.
Yeah. And I just, over the course of time, betas typically have a little bit smaller tanks than some of the other bikes. And the carbureted, they tend to have a little bit richer kind of overall jetting setting.
Yeah.
So I would say that, yeah, you can lean them out a little bit and stuff. But that's like when you're leading out bikes, you're getting into like this kind of this dancy territory, you know, with just, you know, durability and you know, heat and stuff like that. I personally don't like a bike that's running lean. It's just too revvy and too, they don't feel like get traction to me. But yeah, those are definitely things to do and yeah, get new boys.
Switch them.
Yeah, switch them onto the same bike and
for one tank
or you know, same thing is you could get bigger tanks, slightly bigger tanks.
Yeah,
if you notice all
the
pros in those races are running larger capacity tanks. Like very few guys at the higher level, because they're all on the gas, can get away with stock tanks, and that's
yeah. He said he's running Jeep. What did he say? They said what kind of race he was doing, like
GNCCs and hair scrambles and stuff like that. Stuff back east.
Oh, was it back east guy?
It seemed like it.
Put it in kangaroo miles, so
kangaroo.
So probably not American.
I don't. Well, he did put the kilometers first.
Yeah,
kangaroo. Maybe he's in.
Not America.
Yeah. He used to A level though. That's kind of here is A level.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Who knows? Okay. Well, like maybe he's Canadian, eh? Lumberjacks, big kids.
Yeah.
Do they put corn in their gas up there, or is it all ethanol free?
No, they probably. I don't know actually, but do you think gas could make a difference?
No.
Yeah,
I don't know. I don't know what they run over there. I know it smells different in Europe.
Yeah, that's for sure. What does this one say here?
Hey,
Hi, Jimmy.
Oh, hi, Jimmy. After motorcycles have been in storage for a period of time, a rat and mouse can turn the ignition wires and brake lines into a snack. Rodent damage can be annoying and costly, but traditional motorcycle covers do nothing to block rodents from getting into a bike. Internet like math balls, dryer seats, cat urine, strobe lights aren't any more effective long term.
I'm getting pissed off.
You got this problem out there?
Well, no, I'm getting pissed off because like since the invention of AI, it all it does is sends me freaking emails. They're just stupid emails that they're trying to sell you something. And it's like, I don't have time to write it. I'm going to have AI write it. Well, guess what? I let my cat piss all over my motorcycles. And I don't have any problem with my cat loves my motorcycles. I just tell her piss all over it. And I have no problem with rodents having snacks on my motorcycle.
But turn it, yeah.
No, there was a whole nother paragraph on they have a cover that has a weight on the bottom of it. So the rats, like you must have pussy little rats because out here the rats would pick that thing up and go underneath it and they'd build a house.
Yeah.
And they munch. It'd be like a palace. They'd be in there having wire stew.
They don't make a cover that a rat can't chew through.
Yeah, the rats will chew through it.
Yeah.
But strobe lights, I don't know. I didn't know rats weren't into strobe lights though.
Get a cat.
Just get a cat. Like Selma is the best rat killing machine. I don't need your product. And then Stephanie Dickens sent me an email.
Hey there, I'm a huge fan of FMX over 25 years now. I really enjoy representing the FMX brands as well as the FMX shop that are all over the country. I want to reach out and see if you're willing to send me anything to represent your shop FMX brands. If so, that would be awesome. If not, I understand. Take care.
You're going to have to understand, Stephanie, that do you see all the FMX content we do in the show?
Yeah, tons of it. You got like what? All the air boxes cut out of your bikes, no seats on them?
I was going to get a picture of me and just like have it do a flip right now, and then I could claim I'm FMX.
Where's Travis?
And then I'll send her.
Right.
Travis. That's why.
FMX as we get in our Tacosaurus.
Freaking Travis
Well,
got me pulled into the FMX world. So I can't help you, Stephanie. I can't send you FMX stuff for my shop and brands. Again, these are kind of the questions I get, the emails I get. Hey, something coming up. If you're in Nevada, where we are, Pahrump Valley of the Dirt People, love it here. The Nevada Off-Road Film Festival. And it's going to premiere in November 2025, and the date will get solidified here pretty soon. And you want to submit your photo and video content by September 30th. And they're going to do a screening at a brewery up in Reno. And you choose a category, which could be best scenery, most extreme. Maybe Stephanie probably get that category covered. Family fun, most miles covered. Best racing clip. That's for you. Best racing clip.
I don't know about my videos.
I'll get it. I'll go grab a Cato photo of that last time I raced pro and I made money as a professional rider. I'll win. And then just best photo overall. So anyways, you're going to upload all of your entry and details at nevadaoffroad.us. And that's the Nevada Off-Road Coalition. I have a sticker of them someplace up here I can remember. But anyways, it's just something that they're going to do for the off-road community.
Sounds kind of cool.
Yeah. So maybe we'll see it that one. I'm actually going to probably have the gal that's working for this come on the show and kind of explain it a little bit better and see what they're getting at. But all submissions must follow our official guidelines for format, length, and content. And then they'll have a panel, like select the top 3 in each category, which will be showcased at the event. Attendees will have the opportunity to vote for their favorite clip in each category, making this a truly community-powered experience. You gonna enter, Gary?
Maybe. I mean, we have been doing the YouTube stuff, trying to make something, but apparently all I could do is just get dead last off starts lately. So
dead last off the starts.
I don't know if that's gonna win anything.
You should just follow TJ. That'll get you some banger clips.
Hey, dude, the second to last race, me and him were right behind each other. I mean, I was right behind him. We both took a line that was a little bit questionable through the bushes.
Did you see the side panels?
I didn't realize it was him because he wasn't wearing his big Jackrabbits jersey that time. He changed his gear for once.
I'm going to show you what I did to Big John on our when Big John came in and co-hosted. I got a nice picture of him doing something. Where's this here? The video tag that's up on the YouTubes. Let's see here. I think it's right here. Oh, hey, look at Trevor Hunter's calling in. We'll have to take this call. Should I really take this call? That's Big John about ready to just go ass over tea kettles. I had a helmet. I had a GoPro pointing backwards, and he hit a little rock and went.
That video is
yeah.
Good. I saw it.
I used to have it on the other computer. When we use the other computer to do this, I just have it on loop. I just run it, just him hitting this rock and just getting chucked off the motorcycle. But he's a strong guy. Like how long he wrestled that thing back around for. Trevor Hunter, welcome to Tech Talk Taco Tuesday. Are you there?
I'm here.
You're here. So what's been going on in the life of Trevor? Are you on suicide watch or what?
I was, but I just had a pretty good mountain bike race, so I redeemed myself a little bit. But
Okay, I'm going to try to plug you into the studio console here. Let's see if that works. Can you hear us now?
can you hear me?
Yeah, you're live. You're live on the show.
All right.
So tell everybody. Let's just start with what was the number one mistake you made at the dual sport race?
Oh man. I hit a rock that I shouldn't have hit. Maybe.
You hit a rock. Like,
Yeah.
where did you find the rock?
I don't even know what rock I hit. That's the problem.
Did you knock yourself silly?
Nope, I never touched the ground. I never hit the ground.
Really?
No, the bike took the hit, not me.
Okay, Trevor Hunter, I just put you on the screen there, smiling in your dirt bike test shirt, so everybody can see what a striking, nice young man you are. So you didn't hit your head, and then you found oil spilling out of the bike.
Yeah, I looked down and I saw some oil come spraying out, so I figured that probably isn't a good thing. So I tried to jimmy rig it up, and after about an hour of messing around, we got it to finally work, and we were back on our way. But that was just the start of many problems.
Okay, so rider error was the first problem. What place were you in at this point?
Oh, I don't know. I made quite a few passes, so I was probably close.
To dual sport ride. You're such a stud. Keep going. Oh, perfect time for the phone to drop out.
For sure. The horn was honking quite a bit, which meant I was making a lot of passes. It's for sure top 20 in the dual sport race. Maybe close to top 10 in the dual sport race. But Tyler, Numbnuts Tyler, he was probably 10 minutes back, 15 minutes into the ride. So
what did he do?
He was looping the bike out. He broke the clutch lever. He broke the front brake lever. He was he couldn't handle a 450. He's just not talented enough to handle a 450 like that.
No, both of you guys sound like regular wannabe racers that go to dual sport rides.
No, that's why I ride a 300L. It's a mellow bike. It's easy to ride. I can touch the ground. Yeah.
And okay, so you then you pulled your JB Weld out of your fanny pack.
Yeah, I didn't even know I had it, but I did have it. So
who gave you the fanny pack?
It's the one I use for all the desert racing that I sometimes do.
And you had regular JB Weld in it.
Yeah, I didn't know I had it in there, but I had quick steel, but it was all dried out. So
okay, so you did what you're supposed to do, and you checked your pack before to make sure it had all the right stuff.
Yeah, because I happened to JB Weld something on the day before, so I figured I probably should bring it just in case.
Hey, Clint is Canada because Clinton's in the show in the chat.
Okay,
and he's out of the cave, so that means he's Canadian. He's
right?
in on the joke, because they all live underground. You didn't know this about Canadians?
I don't know this joke.
Yeah, Trevor, you might want to move up there. You can bury yourself underground, like for most of the year at least.
Yeah.
He likes the idea of having him switch. So Jimmy Tyler giving out some really good information. So okay, so the third mistake. So we started with I didn't check my fanny pack. I wasn't proud. Dude, you had a bazooka muffler on that thing. Where did that thing fail finally?
No. Riding back on the highway after about 100 miles on that exhaust, it's starting to sound pretty raspy.
Well,
so
wait a minute. It sounded raspy the first time you started it up.
Well, it's getting really bad now.
Okay. So
quality.
But
you can't go to a dual sport race with a completely stock bike. That's not in the rules.
You did it last year and you finished 8th.
I did, but obviously if I put more power, more aftermarket parts, I'll do better, right? That's how it works.
Well, you're not taking any advice from me because I would have told you to do something different. Your tires were illegal. If I were a cop, I would have wrote you a legal tire ticket.
Yeah,
non-DOT knobbies.
That was.
You're too loud. You're the kind of guy I don't want anywhere near me, like ever, like at this. Like if you came up to where my secret place to ride is and you pulled up on that thing, I'd give you some lip service about the muffler, because you'd probably come up and do a skid and make dust, and then I'd be really pissed off because you're not being respectful. I'm getting old, Trevor.
Yeah, but the fans love it. The fans love the loud exhaust. They love me honking the horn. I might have had the biggest cheering going on for the first 10 miles of the ride, and then And I didn't.
Okay.
The race, not the ride, the race.
Okay, we got a question, and it's obviously for you now that you've joined the show. It's from Terra Destroyer. It says, my boyfriend's testicles were bitten off by a camel recently. Should I marry him when he wakes up from his coma or marry his identical twin brother whose testicles are in pretty good shape? This is an actual question that just came into the show. I love AI.
Yes.
That's the
Yeah,
idea.
the answer is yes.
I'm curious why the other brothers are only in pretty good shape, not great shape. Did a camel only like tear him up a little bit?
Yeah. What were you doing with your boyfriend hanging around with camels? That's what I want to know.
Yeah.
Anyways, I turned a couple cats in to have their testicles removed. Does that make me a bad person?
Oh, did you? Yes.
Yeah, they were trying to keep the rats away from my motorcycles and stuff. They were trying to keep the rats away from everything. They were pissing on everything. I think that fixed the problem. But okay, back to the show, Trevor.
All right.
Then you couldn't get gas because you crashed into a power pole and took out the power. Nobody knows this yet.
Well, yeah, the Asian couldn't see and then just ran into the thing, and then you know how it goes.
It was a transformer, right?
Yeah, something like that. The loud exhaust had too much power. I couldn't control the bike, and I just ran straight into it.
So you DNF'd the big dual sport race.
Only because of Tyler. I was ready to keep going, but Tyler pulled the plug. So it's all on him.
I'm looking around for something else to drink around here because this story's going to get even better because you just keep winding up the excusatron.
Did you like our rear brake modification?
The rear brake modification.
Yeah, with the vice grips.
Wrong side of the peg.
Is there anything up on Dirt Bike Test about this disaster yet? Have you?
Yeah, the video just went up a couple hours ago.
It did.
Yep.
I can probably show it on this channel. I should probably play it live.
You know what was very interesting about our rear brake
setup?
setup?
It went up on the YouTube channel, not the.
Yeah, I had a mountain bike race to get to, so I couldn't put it up on the site yet.
I need a filmer, Trevor. You know that? I could really.
Me too.
Yeah, broke bike mountain. Is that what it's called?
Size matter.
Yeah.
So we're getting to clickbait.
Does size matter? That was the question of the weekend.
Okay, and. What was do I have to watch 44 minutes of this thing? Is there a Cliff Notes version of this? I mean, I don't even watch Cody Webb's vlog, and now you're enticing me. Is there some bangers in the first 30 seconds?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay, hold on a second. I'm gonna make it go up on the screen here. Let's see if I can do this here. If I play this, well, let's see what happens. Oh boy! Oh, holy wow, that's really loud. Didn't we have this problem last time? You try to is it that loud on the computer audio? I got to figure out how to turn the volume down on this. Maybe I've turned it down on the computer. Okay, so set up your video, Trevor. I'll turn the video down. Okay, tell everybody what they're about to watch here.
On the 31st annual.
We died.
Hold on.
Not the day we were hoping for.
Uh-oh.
I changed.
Let's try this. Now I gotta go here.
Lost my
Video.
GPS. It's in my pocket now. It fell off at the start. Both drivers are gone.
Properties.
That's fried.
Nope, that's not it.
Oh, rear brake setup.
Oh, it's looking good.
Nope, that's not it.
First gas bet. I think DL's calling it quits.
We can
Honda's
hear
a
it.
little disappointed. I think we had a factory contract on the line if we did good today, and we blew it.
We're not lining up with Jet anytime soon.
Yeah,
We'll just leave it there.
We blew our shot. Premature ending to the day. We found out the answer to the question we've been wanting to know is, does size matter? I think we found the answer to that.
I gotta open
All right,
a
you
new
got the
window. Here we go.
prospectors here?
Hold on a second here.
First
Great
question,
show.
does size
Great
matter?
show.
One of these days I'll figure out how to make this
It
work.
does.
Gotta have a 500.
You can hear the video, right?
What's your answer?
I can't hear anything, but
It does not matter.
You can't hear anything.
No.
Okay.
I hear you guys, but that's it.
Let's see if it'll go to the video. No, it doesn't go to the video. I'll have to figure out how to make this work later.
Everyone should just go watch it on our YouTube after the show's over.
Well, there's nobody watching the show, so it doesn't really matter.
I guess.
It's a complete disaster around here. My show is almost as good as your effort at the Big Bear Trail Ride.
Right.
That's setting the bar pretty low.
But I got some really good tacos tonight, and I got some whiskey now, and we had Cody Webb on. Cody Webb's trying to make his bike slower because Yamahas are too fast.
I mean, they're pretty good bikes.
That's why you should have rode an XT225 at the Big Bear race.
We're thinking maybe a TW200 next year.
Well, I mean, with Numbnuts' performance there, I think, yeah, that's probably where he's headed.
I think so.
So, okay, so the mountain bike race went better tonight?
Yeah, much better than Big Bear.
You're the first person that doesn't sleep in a hyperbaric chamber.
I'd say probably the second person to not do it, but still a win in my books.
So what else new do we have going on at Dirt Bike Test? Is Scott Hoffman's race report for Mammoth up there yet?
He did post something on Instagram today.
On Instagram?
Yeah, he hasn't posted a single thing on the website about the Triumph, but we have like 100 hour meter updates on Instagram about that Triumph.
Okay, so the hour meter works.
Yes, the hour meter works.
That's good to know. Gary, you thinking about becoming a Triumph dealer?
I am not. I'm sticking with Beta, but I have rode the Triumph, and I don't hate it.
No, I think they're really nice. I want to get that thing back. I never had it, actually. I want to get it from Scott. So I've got some stuff to do. Hey, you're going to come by here and give me that KTM 300 or the red KTM 300.
Depends on how when the check is coming.
The check.
The big check.
The big check. Yeah. Well, I submitted it today with all that bogus data that you came up with that said our website's looks really good and stuff.
Right.
we'll see how it goes. Okay. Is the Colorado trip, was that work or play?
I'll be testing that gas 300, so I guess you could say it's work, right?
Okay.
I will expense it to you.
Of course, yeah. Just put it on my credit card. I gave you one, right?
Yeah. I'll have to find that somewhere.
So, do you have any beta questions for Gary?
How's that 352 stroke looking?
I've only seen the same stuff you guys have, just little bits from Europe. So we'll see when it gets here. I'm not sure the actual date, but I'm curious.
Okay. How about Tyler was thinking, obviously he can't handle a 450. Maybe he needs a Beta 125 4-stroke dual sport next year.
Yeah, I don't know if they're going to import those back again, but they were just as gutless as a TTR 125. So maybe
less.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah,
with the paper air filter, it was.
Yeah, I took one of those up in elevation, and I rode it up to the top of a mountain. It was a struggle. I mean, dude, I think I might have taken the air filter out, actually.
We laughed at everybody tumbling down Mount St. Helens during the demo dealer ride, and I hit the turn, and I was like, oh, we're not going to make it. And I barely made it to the top. I was like, dude, this thing is a little rough.
Yeah.
Jimmy.
Yes.
You think me and Dudak were talking, we're thinking maybe me and him will take XR 150Ls to the dual sport, the Big Bear next year? What do you think our chances are on that?
Oh, if you leave it stock, you'll be fine.
But stock isn't good. You have to modify it. We need triple clamps. We need suspension. We need open exhaust. We need
just spray paint it. Just spray paint it and call it good. So just spray paint the muffler silver, and then it'll be good. I did that. Trust me, I did that to my XR80 when I was a kid. Because aluminum mufflers were cool, and I didn't have any money. I couldn't do it, so I spray painted my muffler silver. And then it wasn't heat resistant paint; it all flaked off. And then like I had to park it so that my dad couldn't see the muffler. Because he would get. I wasn't allowed to work on my bikes because after I got caught porting the cylinder head without taking it off the motor, because you can do that, right? That's what happens when your dad's a fireman. He goes on duty for those 4 days. It's game on. I learned how to weld. I learned how to port motorcycles. I read in the magazine it gave it more power, so I did it.
Yep.
So, anyways, well, Trevor, thanks for calling in. Who told you to call?
No, I just wanted to defend myself and say we DNF because of Tyler. That's all I can do.
That's good. At least he doesn't listen.
Who can we call to get some training wheels for him next year?
Training wheels.
You can test some training wheels.
I forgot it's Cody Webb. Cody Webb does like kind of some riding school stuff, doesn't he? Maybe you should call Cody Webb and get some Cody Webb riding schools. I'm going to take him adventure bike riding.
You're going to take him adventure bike riding?
Yeah, he sounded scared when I said that.
He should be scared. If he knows anything about you, he should be very scared.
Yeah, I'm getting pretty mellow in my old age. So, well, right on, Trevor. Thanks for joining in. Any questions for Jimmy Tyler? Do you want to know about TJ's training program? TJ's really good on mountain bikes.
Yeah.
Is he?
He broke off.
Yeah.
Yeah, he died on a mountain bike.
He nearly killed himself on a mountain bike the other day.
Yeah.
Is he better on a mountain bike or his bomb run starts with the Heron Hounds?
Yeah, about. Mm-hmm.
And that's a tie.
It's a tie.
Yeah.
He made it off the lift at Big Bear, 42 feet, broken shoulder.
Okay.
One of the day. Just
nice.
Absolutely like throw the brakes off the thing and let's go.
Yeah.
You know.
Expect nothing less.
What you know?
We're getting a lot from the Tarot Destroyer found our channel.
Wow.
But JL says, Gary, thanks for rebuilding my suspension. I picked it up last week and I already have 5 hours on each set and it's perfect. See, that's the one I'm going to go ride. I'll tell you how it really is.
Go for it.
Let's see. Did Tarot card reader? Let's see. Yeah, it's AI. It's pretty good. They're doing Pygmy Cannibals. Huh? There's lots of cool stuff in the chat. That's why you really need to do that. Beam Echo says, I put a Suzuki NECJ needle in it. I like it better than the original needle. Well, what do you think he's talking about? 60 hours on a 2021 Beta 125 RR. You should have got the 200. Have you seen top ends go much longer than 60 hours? Trevor, you're making too much noise. I'm hanging up on you.
All right. I'll see you guys later.
Talk to you soon.
See you,
Bye.
Trevor.
Okay. So that's a long time on a 125.
It's a long time on a 125.
I mean, I'll do 40 and I feel like I'm really pushing it. I mean, I can start hearing some piston slap. So
yeah, I think it all depends on how you ride it too. I mean, because I have some guys on the 300s that are over 300 hours, and I think that's absolutely insane. But on a 125 to go more than 60, I mean, I'd say just do it. It's a lot cheaper to put a piston in it than it is to replate the cylinder because
because when it starts, that's what really, when the piston starts getting loose, the cylinder wear goes up exponentially.
Yeah.
It kind of flopping around in there. And Dave Ritter says, I have a Beta X Trainer 2022 300. I love that bike for tight technical enduro riding here in Missouri. Does everything I need. Although I did foul a plug at 60 hours. Gee. I don't mind the carb at all. I haven't fouled a plug probably for 20 years. It seems like, I don't know if I think ignition's got better because spark plugs sure as hell haven't changed.
I think the oil got better.
Oil got better.
Because I know I used to foul plugs a lot, and then when I went to the Euro bikes, it just kind of wasn't a thing no more.
And you changed, with going to Euro bikes, you changed oils?
Yeah.
What do you run?
I run now Liqui Moly.
Okay.
I started off, KTM dealer gave me a bottle of Motor X with it, and I went with that. And then when we went to Beta, they gave us Motul, and we went with that. And we actually talked to the guys at Motul about it, because I was like, why wouldn't you be running like a 32-1 now? And why is it 60-1? And they broke it all the way down on, the oil retains the heat in the bottom end, and that's what causes main bearing failures if they get too hot. And it's such a good lubricant now that you don't have to. So, but him on the cross trainer, it should be oil injected unless he's one of those guys that took it off.
You mean smart guy?
Dude, I've been running them for almost 10 years now, and I haven't had any problems with them.
Yeah, I love oil injection. I mean, since Beta kind of reintroduced it back to the motorcycle, two-stroke motorcycle world. And I was a little skeptical at first, but that, like I said, didn't put a lot of time on it, but I tried to make it screw up, and it didn't. And it was way better than, I used less oil and had less goop, essentially, than, because it was kind of, it on the beta, it kind of adjusts based on the RPM a little bit. Yeah.
It's all about
just,
GPS.
Yeah, just like the KTMs are, and it was better than I could do with just mixing it, and so it's good. Let's see.
I did almost ruin it at Idaho City a couple weeks ago. On day 2, one of our guys was like, "Hey, you gonna top off your tank?" And I was like, "Oh yeah, I took the 200 this time, so I should probably check that." And it was pretty low.
Yeah, it uses it up. Okay, so if you have any other beta questions, get them in here in the next 20 seconds, or we're gonna have to shut this show down. So we've gone the full 2 hours.
We did it.
So, Gary, I'd like to thank you from Sportsman Cycle. Anybody you want to thank?
Yeah, dude, thanks for you guys inviting me to do this. It's pretty fun. I'm pretty dumb when it comes to talking, especially on camera, but we're
after 2 hours, you kind of forget there's a camera on.
We're trying to get better at that. I mean,
with your YouTube channel.
Well, we're just trying to do something, because I mean, we have some good stuff that happens around the shop, and
I heard about this.
Yeah, it's got some gold
out front.
Yeah, we are on Boulder Highway, where there's always something going on, and we try to post not all of our content of being just what happens outside the building, but
after dark.
Yeah, dude, my cameras go off all night long.
So check out, what's your YouTube channel?
Just at Sportsman Cycle.
At Sportsman Cycle, and then that's probably on the Instagrams and the YouTubes, the TikToks. I don't do that one yet. Trevor probably can follow us on that. How come Trevor hasn't set up our TikTok yet?
You should. It's kind of the fun.
Dude, we just started like 2 weeks ago with a TikTok, and it's going awesome.
Really? The Chinese are monitoring you,
dude. I know.
I'll tell you, because I don't have any conspiracy theories or anything like this. But so I bought some Chinese little cart that I tow behind my ATV. Really, really nice. Vivor, whatever. Yeah. So I blame Sarah Price for telling me about this. But anyway, so I got this thing, and it's like for $200, I got a really nice tow behind trailer for this thing, and the tires came inflated, right? And they had a lot of pressure in them. And I figured it's probably that Chinese air. But I was really skeptical about letting it out, because, they make those little teeny tiny micro drones and stuff like that. And I know they're trying to export them into the country. So I don't believe in that crazy stuff, but I was really careful when I let that air out and make sure no little drones were going out so they could spy on me. So you watch out with that TikToks there.
I'm sure they're watching all of our stuff and going, what the hell is going on over there?
Yeah.
They're going to buy up the Boulder Highway if they start seeing some of your... They're like, we got to get in on
this. They're intercepting all your content. So, but everybody, thanks for joining in. Remember to sign up for Rooster Endo. Send me your picture of your bike and stuff. If you're like the last guys, if there's just that one person that sends it in, you're going to automatically win. Thanks to Taco Mike for hooking us up. Thanks for Yamaha for supporting the show. I'd like to also thank out Bulletproof Designs, except for the front disc protectors. I like everything else. But Gary likes the front. Do you run Bulletproof Design?
Yep. That's the exact one I got. I put on after I had to.
No, not that one. That one's made out of wood.
No,
that's the
Jimmy Lewis.
That's the Jimmy Lewis Super Light. You can look at that closely. It floats too. Like your disc protector doesn't float. That one floats.
You go down in the ocean with your disc protector.
Well, that way, if you're riding across streams, because I got a lot of questions last week about riding bikes through streams and stuff. If you had this, your front end would float across, and you wouldn't have to tip over. So seat concepts. We're gonna have some stuff. We're gonna probably have a seat concept segment coming up here. We're gonna probably start trying to get into some segments and some gifts, giveaways, things like that. All that kind of stuff. Thanks everybody for watching. We have no more questions. Tarot card reader told my cousin to love himself, and now he's banned from Burger King for life.
All right.
And on that note,
we'll see you on the trail.
See you out on the trail. Cheers, everybody. Now I got to figure out how to turn this show off again. It's like the buttons over there aren't working, so I push a button right here. Stop doing that. Okay, yes, and then stop doing this. If you liked what you saw in this video, come check us out over at dirtbiketest.com on the webs. We have bike tests, product tests, a lot of fresh dirt, and you can even support us by clicking through our links. Hopefully, we'll see you out in the trail.